George Michael Full Biography, From Wham to Faith and Legacy.
In East Finchley, London, on June 25, 1963, George reimagined. As a young child in Kingsbury, London, around 1965, George Michael moves with his family and begins showing early curiosity in his surroundings. In Radlett, Hertfordshire, during the early 1970s, George Michael attends school and develops an interest in music and drawing. Around 1975 in Radlett, George Michael starts playing guitar and dreaming of a music career at home. In 1975 at Bushey Mead School, Hertfordshire, George Michael meets Andrew Ridgeley, sparking a lifelong friendship.
In 1979, we formed our first band, The Executive. With Andrew and our friends, we started our dream.
Around 1980 in Watford, George Michael DJs and performs in local clubs, honing his skills. In 1981 in London, George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley form the duo Wham and start writing music. In 1982 in London, George Michael signs Wham's first record deal with Intervision.
This is it, George.
In 1982, George Michael releases Wham's debut single, Wham Rap, in London. Later in 1982, George Michael and Wham release Young Guns, gaining early attention in the UK. In 1983 in London, George Michael's Wham album Fantastic reaches #1 in the UK. In 1983, George Michael shoots the iconic Club Tropicana video for Wham.
Wake me up before you go, don't leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Maintaining Wham, it's done before we go. Wake me up before you go, leave me hanging on like a yo-yo. Wake me up before you...
In 1984, George Michael releases his semi-solo hit Careless Whisper, topping charts worldwide. In 1984 in London, George Michael records Do They Know It's Christmas with Band Aid. In 1985 in Beijing, George Michael and Wham become the first Western pop act to perform in China.
In 1985 at Wembley Stadium, London, George Michael performs with Wham at Live Aid.
In 1986 in London, George Michael decides to disband Wham to pursue solo work.
On June 28, 1986 at Wembley Stadium, London, George Michael performs Wham's farewell concert.
In 1987, George Michael duets with Aretha Franklin on I Knew You Were Waiting, winning a Grammy. In 1987 in London, George Michael launches his debut solo album Faith, a massive success. In 1987, George Michael's I Want Your Sex sparks controversy but tops charts. In 1987, George Michael's title track Faith becomes an iconic hit worldwide.
In 1988, George Michael embarks on the global Faith Tour, performing to sold-out arenas. In 1988 in Los Angeles, George Michael wins multiple awards for Faith, including Album of the Year. This means a lot.
In 1988, George Michael's Father Figure becomes another #1 hit from Faith. In 1988, George Michael's soulful One More Try tops the charts. In 1988, George Michael's Monkey adds to the string of hits from Faith. By 1989 in London, George Michael seeks a more serious image after Faith's success. In 1990 in London, George Michael releases Listen Without Prejudice, Volume 1. These are the days of the open hand, they will not be forgotten. George Michael's prime addresses social issues and hits #1. In 1990 in London, George Michael releases Freedom 90, refusing to appear in the video. In 1991 in London, George Michael sues Sony over his contract, fighting for artistic control.
In 1992 at Wembley Stadium, London, George Michael honors Freddie Mercury with a powerful performance.
In 1996 in London, I release Older, inspired by personal loss. In 1998 in Beverly Hills, George Michael is arrested, leading to his public coming out as gay.
What's going on?
You're under arrest. In 1998 in London, I came out publicly. I turned a scandal into empowerment by embracing who I am.
In 2012 at Earl's Court, London, George Michael gives his last live performance after health struggles.
On December 25, 2016, Ingoa passes away at 53.